we go.
Okay, so today I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the new self-driving car technology that's been coming out in the last few years. So we're going to go over the software that's required to do this, what actual hardware it needs, and then we'll talk about maybe some laws or some things preventing self-driving cars from actually happening right now. So self-driving cars are a relatively new technology. It came out within the last 5 years, mainstream. And Tesla is going to be changing the fact that you have to keep your hands on the wheels within the next 2 years. You will be able to go fully autonomous on the freeways, not streets yet, but the freeways, and fully autonomous driving where you can throw your child in the back seat and have your car take them to school. That is still decades away, but that's the ultimate goal. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so some of the things, well, I apologize, we're going to go over hardware first. Okay, some of the things that a self-driving car can use, such as a Tesla. Teslas, they really like to use cameras. So the average Tesla car will have one radar unit in the front, which is a slightly older technology than LiDAR, which they're using nowadays. But on top of that older radar technology, they will have up to 8 camera positioning sensors around the car, such as in the rearview mirrors, from the windshield, from the back, and on both rear quarter panels to make sure that when the car decides to make a lane change, it knows that there's a vehicle within 15 to 20 feet of it. It can pick up about that far. So that being said, the LiDAR technologies that they're using nowadays for the kind of like experimental self-driving cars, LiDAR is basically radar, but on steroids. So every single second it sends out thousands of pulses, and instead of using standard radar technology, it uses thousands of lasers. So it creates a much more accurate picture, and they say that LiDAR is so accurate it can actually pick up a human being using hand signals on their bike, which normal radar on the Tesla it can't pick up. So that's a big plus, because these self-driving cars, they need to be able to adapt to driving with human drivers, because of the fact that it's an expensive technology, not everybody can have it. So self-driving cars need to be able to navigate roads where people are making mistakes or people are driving aggressively. So by doing that, they need to have really good eyes, and the LiDAR is able to help them do that. And so another really important technology that has come out, and this is mainly from Tesla, is OTA updates, over-the-air updates. So when Tesla released the self-driving car back in 2016, what they did was they made every single car that they had sold since 2014 compatible and capable to have self-driving. So they installed the cameras on it and they installed the radar units on it, but it didn't have the software capabilities yet. But they knew that's something they wanted to do in the near future. So basically everybody woke up in 2016 to a brand new Tesla that could self-drive, and that is pretty sweet, I think. And that is where we're heading with cars. And many manufacturers say that they're going to be doing that because the technology is advancing so rapidly. They say that unless you are able to connect your car to the internet and update it, it's going to fall behind. And so this comes to a few problems that we might face from using self-driving cars. One being a parking ticket. So if you are to get a parking ticket in your self-driving car, it has been talked about by legislation, and what it seems to be right now is that the owner would have to pay the expense of a parking ticket if your self-driving car parked itself in a red zone or didn't pay the meter. That ticket is going to have to be handled by the owner, and that is from Tia Goes on livescience.com. Another thing they talked about is how many people here have a computer, right? Everybody has computers. And this little blue screen of death, everybody knows that, and it's not a very good thing, but people are talking about the fact that computers do this. No computer can run continuously without crashing. Every single computer crashes. It's just a matter of time of the software breaking down the code. But the problem with that is with the self-driving cars, when the software crashes, you are liable to hit a child or an old lady crossing the street. So that's another thing they really have to watch out and be careful with. Also mentioned in a Live Science article, they said the second one of these self-driving cars swerves out of the way of a basket full of groceries and hits a child, there's going to be big lawsuits. And speaking of lawsuits, in a fatal car accident or a serious crash, legislation and senators are seeming to think that many people would sue each other, but what would end up happening is that the automaker would be responsible for this. And whether you guys agree with that or not, make your own decision. So basically, the self-driving cars are a really, really sweet innovation, and I think they can help a lot of people in the near future. Like I said, totally autonomous cars where you can throw your child in the backseat and have it drive to school is many decades off. But right now, Tesla is working on releasing fully hands-free autonomy on the freeway within the next 2 years. And once that happens, it's going to be great. So I hope you guys learned something interesting, and thank you very much. I appreciate it.